She struggled with intense anger. When she felt misunderstood or overwhelmed, she would cut her wrists, not because she wanted to end her life, but because it felt the only way to release the deafening storms of emotions raging inside her. It was her way of screaming for help. Helping her wasn't about giving lot of lectures or immediate fixes. It was about patiently waiting, building trust. I created a safe space for her, a sanctuary where she felt no judgment, where no one was trying to fix her, but where someone was simply there to listen, truly listen. Have you ever found yourself asking, why would a child hurt themselves? Aren't they too young to feel that kind of pain? Or perhaps, is self harm just for attention? Or is it something deeper? These are just some of the many questions that swirl around the topic of self harm among our young ones. Today, I want to invite you into my counseling room to share the powerful story of a brave young girl named Ananya, who courageously navigated this incredible difficult struggle. If this conversation can reach just one hurting heart out there, then it will be truly worth it.
Delhi police has stated that a 16-year-old girl and a boy died allegedly by suicide.
Why wasn't? I'm a mother. We keep telling our kids to come and tell us whatever, good, bad, ugly. I somehow think the child was either ashamed or not comfortable telling the parents about it. Child was unable to tell anyone, whether it was a school counselor or the parents. Don't you think that's a moot question? Any bad thing can happen to me, but if I can't inform those who matter, then what's the point? We've lost the child anyway.
Self harm is when a person, often a child or teenager, intentionally inflicts pain upon themselves. This can take many forms like cutting, scratching, hitting, burning, or even pulling out their hair. But here is the crucial point, and it's one we often misunderstand. It's not always about wanting to die. Most of the time, self-harm is about coping. It's a desperate attempt to manage pain that feels too immense for them, the emotions that feel too overwhelming for them, or situations that feel utterly helpless. Think of Ananya. She struggled with intense anger. When she left misunderstood or overwhelmed, she would cut her wrists, not because she wanted to end her life, but because it felt like the only way to release the deafening storm of emotions raging inside her. It was her way of screaming for help without making a sound. And this is vital to understand. Self-harm is not just attention-seeking behavior. It's not a phase they will simply grow out of. It's a profound, a silent cry for help from a place of deep distress. Tragically, more and more teenagers today are struggling with feelings of loneliness, anxiety, and feeling utterly unheard. When they lack the words to express their inner turmoil, self-harm can become a desperate outlet for that pain. You might be wondering, why would a child even do this? The answer lies in a simple yet profound truth. Behavior is communication. When a child acts out, hurts others, or even hurts themselves, they are trying to tell us something that powerful, not with words, but through their actions. This silent language could be signaling that they feel emotionally neglected at home, maybe with their parents or maybe with the siblings, and even there is significant conflict within the family, or they are buckling under intense academic pressure from among the schoolmates or maybe teachers, among the management, or they desperately lack a safe person to confide in or maybe just to open up. Many of these children might even feel a deep sense of emptiness or numbness, where physical pain paradoxically feels like the only tangible reality in that moment. As a counselor, years of experience have taught me this. Aggression, isolation, and self-harm are not bad behaviors. They are, in essence, a survival tactic for a hurting heart. Let me now bring you back to Ananya, the brave 13-year-old girl who walked into my counseling room. She was referred to me because of her struggles at school by her teacher. Frequent outbursts of anger, arguments with teachers, among schoolmates, and even physical fights. At other times, she would completely withdraw herself, sitting silently somewhere, or worse, cutting her arms with a blade. Her friends and teachers found very difficult to reach. Life at home for her wasn't much easier, marked by constant family arguments among the parents, yet there was a beacon of light for Ananya, her father, a steadfast supporter for her, her deeply trusted confidant. Ananya was carrying an immense burden of pain and stress about her schoolwork, about her friendships, and her own self worth. When she first came to me, she was a fortress of anger, guarded and withdrawn. But you know what? Underneath all that anger, there was a little girl who was just yearned to be heard. Helping Ananya wasn't about giving lectures or too much of talks or immediate fixes, but it was about patiently waiting, building trust. And it was difficult, but I created a safe space for her, a sanctuary where she felt no judgment, where no one was just trying to fix her, but where someone was there simply to listen her, just to truly listen. Slowly, Ananya began to unravel her story. She spoke of her deep hatred for being scolded publicly, her resentment towards a teacher who never seemed to understand her side. And she revealed how sometimes hurting herself offered a strange sense of control in a world where everything else felt spiraling out of her grasp. Once she opened up, we began our work together, focusing on safe ways to express her powerful emotions, like through drawing, journaling, and even dancing. She loved dancing, and it was very helpful. The other way, identifying her triggers, the situations, the words, and even the people that made her feel small, angry, or sad, just to identify that. Simple coping techniques like deep breathing, squeezing a stress ball, or counting backwards when overwhelmed, these also helped her. And building positive friendships, particularly strengthening her bond with her kind friend Priya, who stood by her in her difficult times. It was really helpful for her. And more importantly, strengthening her self worth through affirmations and conversations celebrating her unique strengths and life goals, which really made a good impact in that counseling. And perhaps most importantly, we co created a safety plan. For those overwhelming moments when the urge to self harm arose, she had other choices like writing in her diary, calling a trusted adult, sharing her feelings. Step by step, she started choosing those healthier, life affirming ways. Today, Ananya is thriving. She still has her difficult days, but now she has a toolkit of strategies, a strong support system, and most profoundly, she knows her feelings are valid and she is never alone. I have shared Ananya's story because there are so many Ananyas quietly struggling around us, in our schools, in our neighborhoods, perhaps even in your own home. If you notice signs of self-harm or deep emotional distress in a child or a teenager, please do not ignore it. Instead, listen with an open heart. Support them without judgment. Seek professional help when needed. And if you are a teacher, a parent, a friend, sometimes the simplest act of a kind word or a little patience can truly change a life forever. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen today. If you found this video helpful, please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Let's keep these vital conversations going because mental health truly matters, especially for our young ones. If you would like to hear more real stories from our counseling room or learn practical ways to support children through emotional struggles, please let us know in the comments below. We would be honored to share more with you. Until next time, take care and above all, be kind.